What's going on, guys? Balkan Architect here, and in today's video we're talking about columns in Revit. So when it comes to creating columns in Revit, well, it's fairly easy and straightforward to create a regular column in Revit. But if you are a subscriber of this channel, you probably know that I don't do simple, boring buildings. I'm really interested in kind of pushing the limits of Revit and getting it to do something quite interesting. So in this video I thought, well, why not try to create some interesting columns in Revit, some slanted columns, some curved columns, any type of an interesting column. How can we do something like that? So that's what we're exploring in today's video. Now, if you want to learn more about Revit, if you want to explore Revit in depth, the best place to get started or to continue your journey would be my website, balkanarchitect.com. That's the first link just below the video. There I have over 100 hours of content of Revit courses, both beginner, intermediate, and advanced level courses, where I take the extra time to go step by step, slowly exploring all of the little settings, tools, features, as well as the entire workflow for achieving different interesting things in Revit. So if you're serious about learning Revit, make sure to check it out. Also, make sure to subscribe. It does show you whenever I post a new video, and I do post new videos 3 times a week. And also make sure to like this video. It helps me promote the video through the YouTube algorithm to anyone else that might be interested in seeing it. Okay, so without any further ado, let's get straight into Revit. And here we are in Revit. So let's get started by going straight to models, then to new. And for the template file, I'm just going to be using my architecture design template. If you're interested in checking my templates out, it's going to be the 3rd link in the description just below the video. If you're interested, check it out. Anyways, I'm just going to set this up, click OK. And as soon as Revit starts up, then let's start placing some columns. So when it comes to creating columns in Revit, and let me go here to level 1, the simple approach would be just to go here to column. By default, it's going to be set up to structural column. You can obviously switch to architectural. I prefer the structural one. It does give you just a little bit more functionality. So you can just go straight into there, pick a column out of the properties, anyone that you would like. You set up the height here. So currently it's going to be set to depth. By default, it goes to depth, which is kind of annoying for these structural columns. You just have to reverse that to height. You can set it up to level 2, for example. Click and done. You have your column. And obviously, if we go to the 3D view, there we go. We have our simple straight column. Now, the next step, or the next approach, would be to go again to the structural column. When you click on the structural column, notice that here in the Modify tab, we have placement. And it has a couple of options. It has vertical column, but also it has slanted column. Now, as I said, the architecture column lacks some functionality, and this is one of that. So if I just go back, hit the escape key a couple of times, go to column and use the architectural column, see, you don't have those options. So for the architectural column, it can only go straight up. The structural one, it can be slanted, which is quite cool. Now, to place a slanted column, you have a couple of different options. So just to show you, let me try something for a second here. So let's try one more straight column here. But this one, I'm going to extend a little bit. Let's give it a 300 centimeter top offset. Like so. There we go. Okay. So one approach would be to go to level 1, for example, and then go to your column, go to slanted column, and then you have the 1-click, 2-click. So it's really cool because it allows you to just specify the heights at both clicks. So I can go here and set this to first click be at level 1, 0 offset. The second click can be at level 2. Okay. This is annoying. Let's see. Now will it work? Okay, it will work. There we go. And then you click once, you extend, you click once again, and you have your slanted column. So if I go to the 3D view, as you can see, the second one the second click will be at level 2. See? That's level 2. And then the first one will be obviously at level 1. So that's one approach to place it. The second approach is if you already have some sort of construction in place, like we have over here, you can go to column, slanted column, and then just make sure that 3D snapping is turned on. And then you can snap to the top or bottom or midpoint, I think, yeah, or midpoint, or pretty much any point on any column. And then you can place it like this. Now this is really useful if you have some structures where you want to kind of connect a couple of columns at different heights. This can be a really useful approach to kind of connecting those in a proper way. Now if I select this column and change the height to, I don't know, let's change the offset down to 200. As you can see, this column will not follow that, so you would have to readjust that. So just something that you should probably keep in mind. Anyways, so we have set this column up with 2 clicks. We have done this one with 3D snapping. Let's see what else can we do. Well, the next thing that you can do is you can use something else to snap the column in place. So you don't have to have a couple of columns. You can, for example, use model lines. So if you have existing model lines, you can snap the columns to that. So one approach would be to model something using model lines and then just place columns over those model lines. So if I place a line like so, theoretically, I could go here to slanted column, and then as you can see, I can pick out these. Now, obviously, it's not going to work horizontally, so it's just going to delete that one. But if this were, let's go to level 1, place a reference plane, so just RP for reference plane. Let's name it something like the ref plane. Okay, so if I were to go to south elevation and then go to model lines, pick the reference plane, ref plane, and then if I were just to draw whatever and go back here, yeah, now if I go to the column, slanted column, 3D snapping, I can go from here up to there, or from here to there, and so on. So you can kind of create the construction or the skeleton out of model lines, and then you can apply slanted columns to that. So that's the kind of the second approach. Now the most interesting approach, and this one doesn't entail using actual columns, is combining the massing function with the column, or in this case with the beam. Because why? Well, when you go here to the column, you can place a column, but you don't have the pick lines option really. But if you go to the structure tab and go to beam, for the beams we have the pick lines, and we actually have a spline, so you can kind of free model it. So if you want to create something quite interesting, what I like to do is go and either use these model lines, or you can go to Massing Insight and model some mass, and then you can apply it to that. So let me show you. In this case, let me go to, yeah, we can use model lines, for example. So let's go to the south elevation, and then let's go to architecture, let's go to model line. We can use a spline, for example, and then I can create a spline that goes kind of like that, and then goes up. So let's say this is a column, and then we can select this and use the mirror function, draw axis, and then let's mirror it like this. So let's say we want to have like a split column that goes from 1 point up to 2. You can do that using beams. So you can just go here to structure, beam, pick out a concrete beam like this. Let's use the smaller one perhaps. And then just go to pick lines and make sure that 3D snapping is turned on. This is really crucial. And then you just go and click and you have your weird columns. Now in some cases this is going to flip like this. So you have a couple of options. You can use either the cross-section rotation, or you can switch the Z justification. I prefer this because I think it's more accurate. So there we go. Flip that and you have your kind of cool split column. I think this looks really, really good. So that would be one approach. And then the second approach would be, as I said, using massing. So you can go here to Massing Insight. You can go to Show Mass, turn on In Place Mass. Okay. And then we can do something like, I don't know, we can just create a simple structure. So let's simple rectangle, select that, turn that into a solid form. We should be able to rotate this. There we go. So we have something kind of odd. And then we can turn this into columns by, again, going to structure. And then, again, we're using beams because it's going to allow us to snap or to use big lines. And then we can use any of these lines to create something. So it's really cool, quick, and easy. And while the only downside is the fact that this is now basically a structural framing beam. Now, you can obviously get around that by adding just a comment or something like that, and then you can use that in order to schedule that properly. So that is kind of a workaround the fact that this is a beam instead of a column. You can just add any additional parameter that you can use later on to create like a separate schedule where it includes all of these columns that were modeled as beams. And there you go. That's how you model all sorts of weird columns in Revit. Now, I do have some additional tutorials on columns, and I'm going to include those in the description and also probably in the cards as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want to learn more about Revit, both for architecture or structure, make sure to check out my website, balkanarchitect.com. The first link in the description takes you there. There you can learn more. I have over 100 hours of Revit courses, so make sure to check that out. There I go slowly, step by step, explaining all of these complex Revit topics. Also, make sure to check out my Patreon. There you can access all of my Revit project files. And finally, make sure to subscribe, like and share this video, and leave any comments if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for any future tutorials. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you with another tutorial in a couple of days. Have a nice day.